deepest.
Welcome back to Split the Defense, Leafs post-game, presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving Kingston and the surrounding area since 2004. I'm Webby with CP and producer Ted in the booth. Thumbs up this episode, subscribe to our YouTube, leave us a comment, catch us in podcast form anywhere you listen to podcasts. Game number 24, Leafs win. Got a little feisty at the end there, buddy.
Got a little feisty, yep. Gurbankin push got everyone a little riled up, it seemed.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it's funny because there was a little bit of fireworks about halfway through the game, and then it just kind of fizzled off, and it was a little bit dull again. And then right at the end, yeah, Gurbankin with a late hit. I love that kid.
Yeah,
love that kid.
Gurbankin's at the top of the list of the young guys that we've seen so far, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So Leafs win. What did it end up? 3-1. Is that what it was? 4-1.
4-1
right?
with the open net. Yeah.
Yeah, with the open net. And who do you got for a first start tonight, CP?
I think we got back-to-back goalie first start. Actually, wait, did I give it? I think I gave it to Tanev last game. Honorary mention was to Wall, but yeah, Stolarz. Giving it to Stolarz this game. I'm glad he didn't get the shutout because I'm playing against him in fantasy in 2 leagues. So I said shutout in almost all my group chats, so it didn't happen. But yeah, glad that they got the win though, and yeah, he played amazing. The whole second period, basically, you can just give to Stolarz. Like what, the Leafs didn't get a shot for like 12 minutes or something. Yeah, just Stolarz the whole way, and it didn't help that there was like 3.5 minutes of PK to do in there, but yeah, we're having a goalie battle, but on our own team.
You know what? Like I keep saying, it's a good problem to have. Like I almost want to stop talking about it because I don't want to manifest any issues here. Like let's just stop talking about it and pretend like it's not happening because you don't want to wreck a good thing here. Hey. Like it's going so well. It's going unbelievably well.
Yeah, better than I could have imagined, honestly. Like you see that like Stolarz was a guy that I was always excited about, but then you see him play so well, Wall not play so well at the beginning, gets hurt and comes back, doesn't look so great. But you know, it's just so it's quick to forget what you initially thought about a player, right? Like we were coming into this with Wall being the starter. Like we believe in this guy as long as he's healthy, you know, and even he comes back and he's healthy apparently, and we still are just like, no, we got another guy, you know. And so it's you know, good to see that both guys, you're muted, Webby. But yeah, it's just good to see that both guys are just bringing it, and like, yeah, I couldn't ask for any more.
It's a pretty wicked tandem between the two of them. And like, yeah, Wool had his struggles and we definitely all had our concerns. But like, I think more of the concern with Wool was injury. We were never worried if he was going to play good. We all knew Wool would play well. It was whether the fact he was going to stay healthy. And I think having a guy as good as Stoley to be like, you can't take games away from Stolarz. Like he's so good that like maybe Wool will just be able to stay on this you know, conditioning and be able to play enough games through the season he doesn't get hurt. And he lasts through the whole rest of the year. So maybe this was the best damn thing that ever happened, and Brad Treliving's a genius.
You know, but like they did kind of like sit Stoley a little bit because they went back-to-back with Wall, played Stoley once where he played probably his worst outing of the season, and then they went right back to Wall again, which, I don't know, that seems like they were more interested in getting Wall going. But just awesome to see that even with the one pretty poor game in like over a week's time, and Stolarz can come back and give one of his better performances. So,
well, I think that had a lot to do with it, is that he had a poor performance. And like when like Craig Berube said at the beginning of the year, he's not going to like really pick a starter. He's just going to ride the hot hand. And then they asked him earlier this week, I believe, are you know, how do you feel about riding the hot hand and the way you've been using the goalies? And are you going to change that up and just pick one guy, whoever's doing better? And he says, no, I think I like the way that I've been doing it. So they are just going to kind of split the net. But yeah, no, Stolarz played great tonight. I didn't catch how many shots he stopped, but one goal, you can't complain about that at all.
Yeah.
So no McCabe. No McCabe. No McCabe. He didn't come back.
Yeah.
He didn't play this game. That can't be good. They didn't give us any update on his injury, just that they're going to give him some extra time. And
Yeah.
Myers
Like,
was in. And so what did you think of your boy Myers in there tonight?
yeah, first with McCabe, like it doesn't seem like it's too serious because I did hear there was the potential that he could play today. So, and you'd think he'd be like straight to LTIR if it was something bad. So, I mean, you can imagine getting a puck to the neck or like the back of the head neck area. Like that's gonna be sore for a while, and you just want to be cautious with it. But Myers, I thought like put in a pretty big position tonight and played pretty well doing it. I thought that he played way better than Timmins did, that's for sure. And yeah, I was a little nervous because if you're gonna play with Morgan Riley, you're not gonna get the easiest minutes. Like you're not gonna get the toughest, but you're not gonna get the easiest either. And so, yeah, I thought he performed admirably and was very happy with my boy Myers. He's coming off of, if I remember correctly, his last time in the lineup wasn't so hot. He was kind of trying to prove me wrong by saying he was a guy who could play. But tonight he proved that, this was one of the games that he played pretty well.
So we started tonight off, and I will eat my words, with a Nylander to Matthews goal.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely changed my mind. Those guys should 100% play together. That was all it took for me. Now, on the other end of that, if you look back at the still right before the pass was made from Willie to Matthews, there was like all four or all five Chicago Blackhawks right there.
Yeah.
Right
Four of them
there.
at least, yeah.
That was not good defense. So, like,
No.
I don't know. But at the same time, those two, it was like it was on a string. Like, he flew it across the ice, landed on Matthew's stick. It was like it was magnets on the damn thing. Like, that was electric. If I want to see more of that.
Yeah, I think that like if we were playing one of the NHL video games, Willie had more of the playmaking scorer versus just scorer tonight. I thought that he was making it happen. Not like all of it really worked out. He didn't get a ton of points tonight, but that one in particular, and I just felt like he put a lot of opportunities on other guys' sticks tonight, and like I said, not all of them worked out, but I did kind of see a little bit of a change. And like we were saying, like Willie's been playing the last the whole year basically of like get it done by himself kind of thing, and it's always kind of been his style. But if you're gonna play with Matthews, and I know he wants to, you can just tell by the way he plays. I don't even have to ask him, I just can tell. He can change his style a little bit, and just like tonight, I mean, if you have Austin Matthews over there, he's a damn good scorer on his own, but you can't do it all. And yeah, throw a sauce over there, and if you got some poor defense like Chicago showed, then it's gonna work every now and then.
Like, Austin Matthews could have held out a net at the end of his stick, and William Nylander would have just nailed the sauce. Like, he could have just left it on the ice there. It was just like, it was the perfect pass. Like, those two together, that's maybe something that I should reconsider. Absolutely. I'd like to see 3 good lines. I really would, but I think it's maybe more of a fantasy at this point, and let's just roll. Because Matthew Nyes is him. Matthew Nyes goes for the empty net goal at the end of the game, and I don't care if it's an empty net goal. That's the second time I've seen him work like a fucking dog to score an empty net goal. There's one time he was stick lifted and boxing somebody out to score an empty net goal. You have to remember that one. And tonight, He's the first one down, puck off the board, slaps it in the back of the net. It was a little excessive, but it did put the game away.
Yeah, I mean, that's not an Ottawa Senators open net slap shot goal, but he put a lot of effort into getting a point on the board. It is what it is. He
certainly did, and I love it. I love it.
I mean,
it's always good when it doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, he deserved it tonight too. There's quite a few like plays in front of the net in particular where just creating a lot of space and making things happen. He has been a little bit down since like his bit of a spree of like, I don't know, the injuries in there too, but Not like really getting as many shots as I'd like to see from him. But tonight you could see he was really creating for himself, and I was glad that he was the guy that got the empty netter. It looked like Marner wanted to give it to him too, because right before that he does his stupid drop pass to try and give one to Nyes, and it didn't work out.
But
I want him to
what?
eliminate that from his repertoire, the drop
You
pass.
know what? He shot so much in the last few weeks, in the last couple of months. That was pretty good. That was the time that you didn't expect it. I thought he was going to shoot. Like, I was so used to him shooting. Like,
because he should have.
That's what you expected. Because he should have. But like, that's his skill. And yeah, there was a guy there, but had he not done it, and Mark Giordano would have tapped it in like we saw a couple of years ago. Like, it's a beautiful play. Beautiful play. We would have been losing our minds.
For all of the tap-ins, which I think is maybe 2, that he's created doing that play, there's been so many that just I feel embarrassed watching. Like, it gives me the creepy crawlies watching a guy do that. It's just like, put it on net. And like, I know that he doesn't think that there's a defender behind him, and he's trying to get like a really nice opportunity for Nyes, but good Lord, it just bugs the crap out of me.
It's a pretty play, and like he hasn't been doing that shit over and over again. I think it was good in the moment. I think he made a good decision. I liked that. And it didn't work out. They don't always work out, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So Matthews takes a penalty tonight. I don't want to do too much ref talk, but what did you think of that penalty? He got slammed into the boards and just retaliates a little bit. It wasn't even excessive, and ends up with a 2-minute minor for roughing or interference, or I don't even fucking care what it was for. He's in the box.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the call was either, but I mean, it's a stupid call. I don't know. If you watch that play 10 times, I just think it's a stupid call every time. So I love that from Matthews though. Like every time, and I know that like a lot of people are probably talking about this, but every time you get a little bit of something from Matthews, and like just a little bit of anger or retaliation of anything, it just gets me going. You know, I gets
the whole team going.
Yeah, and I know it's not part of his just personality, and like not everybody you can just like, you know, be that guy, but you want your captain to be a little bit of that. And I have seen more penalties from Matthews this year than years prior. I know it's probably like 3 or something, but it's more than usual. And I don't mind it. You know, if he takes a soft call here and there, I think it's fine. I think that like refs should give the star players a bit of a break, or at least like the captains of teams. I don't know if I'm asking for a lot here, but just like, I don't know. I want that in hockey. Like I want McDavid to get a little riled up, and McKinnon, and if they do, that's great. I just, you know, when you see a soft one on Matthews like that, it's just like, come on, man. Like I could see if you're trying to calm down like a Brady Tkachuk or like a Tom Wilson, but like, you know, like it's a soft call.
Or if he was the instigator.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of shit. Like, it's not like he gave him one shot. It's not like he gave him one and then gave him another. Like, that should have been the one that, when we talked about it later, after he gave him 2, when the broadcaster said it, see, that first one, he probably would have got away with that one, but it was the second one. Yeah, you see that one there? That was the one. And all he did was 1. So like that doesn't make any sense to me. He took a shot and he came back and he fired 1 cross check and he ended up with the penalty. Like, fuck, that was dumb. It was a clean hit though. I will give him that. Like when he got butt up against the boards, he just got smacked up against the boards. There was no dirt there.
No, yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like I didn't see anything wrong with him initially getting hit. He got a little riled up for nothing, but hey, you know,
shown up.
Yeah, well, that's what I love, and that's when that was the same thing with Darlene when he got suspended. Like that was because like he was getting shown up a little bit and he didn't want to take it, and then he crossed the line a little bit. So yeah, a little bit of fire. I want to see it more often.
Yeah, me too. A little bit of fire. What about that Dewar hit on Hall?
Oh yeah.
Oh. that was awesome. Talking about the boys getting riled up after Matthews takes that penalty and everybody just starts throwing bodies. Somehow Connor Dewar ends up on the ice with Taylor Hall and catches him catches him. I don't know, his head was down, or he caught him. He jumped at the last second too, which was stupid. Taylor Hall jumped, and Connor Dewar just went through him, flipped him right around. Best part is when he pushes him away from him, like, get off of me.
So like it started like 10 seconds earlier, where because it's Chicago's on the power play. And so Dewar's out there. He has the puck on the PK, and he takes it down. And he ends up just kind of shuffling it along the boards, and Taylor Hall kind of hits him a little bit, and that's where Dewar gets a little fired up. And so he sees the opportunity. Taylor Hall gets the puck, and he takes a run at him. And the shot, I was a little nervous when he took the extra little push and shove after. I was like, oh, is that going to be the second thing that gets him the penalty? But no, they let it go, and I'm glad, because
I
was
wondered
awesome.
too. Yeah. That was awesome. It was fantastic to see that fire. You don't see much from Connor Dewar, but
No.
like he does have a little bit of edge to his game, and if he just pulled it out a little bit more, maybe we'd be more excited about him. But he seems to be just like, how would you describe Connor Dewar? Like really fast.
Yeah. The thing about like guys like Dewar that I don't quite can't comprehend is that like you just having a little bit of nastiness and edge to your game is the difference in millions of dollars in your life. Like for me, if I have a little edge in my life, my paycheck's the same. And like people probably just don't like me as much at work. For him, if he's a little edgy at work, like he's literally going to get a bigger paycheck. He's going to make millions of dollars more. And so like a guy, I know he's 5'10" or whatever, but like just bring it, dude. And you're going to be a staple in a lineup, and you're going to probably get paid like $2 or $3 million because you're in Toronto and everyone's going to see it. So yeah, that's like, those are the things that I just, I'm not a hockey player in the NHL, and it's obviously a tough league, and it's tough to bring it like that. But I mean, it's millions of dollars you're missing out on if you don't. So yeah, just bring it, dude.
You make an excellent point, but like some guys, they just don't have it in them.
Yeah,
like maybe he doesn't have that mean streak to go all the time, and like. There's also that other point that like you have to understand is that the more that you give is the more that people are willing to give back to you, right? So it's like, do you really want to go and do that to yourself? It's not just a matter of giving it out. It's a matter of like, do I want to go and initiate that shit for myself every night? Like, do I want to go and get my face caved in over and over? Not even in a fight, but like, is that the guy I want to be every time I'm on the ice? They're like, all right, fuck this kid up because he's always out there.
Well, like a guy who gets it and who wants to be in the lineup is Fraser Minton, and because he has, I think, like 6 or 7 hits tonight. Right,
perfect.
Like just a dude that he understands what he has to do to be in the lineup, and he's doing it, man.
He had 6 or 7 hits tonight.
That's like the broadcast said he had 5, and then I counted at least like 1 or 2 more after that. Like, dude's bringing it. Yeah. He's way bigger than he was last year. Like, I know he's like 18 or 19 years old. Like, he's
always 20 or 21 because he's not OHL eligible. Like, yeah, because you have to play in the OHL for so long or whatever. Yeah. So no, he's
like
21 or something.
I just feel like in a year's time, he's like grown an inch or two, and he's put on weight, and he's showing it. He never gets pushed around out there, I don't find. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like he's bringing it enough to stay in the lineup. And I know that's like everyone wants to send him back to the AHL to develop, but he's not a detriment out there. Has points in 4 to 5 games, 2 goals in that time, and 5. Like, he's bringing the physicality. He's like he's playing good in his own end. What else do you want from him to stay in a lineup? And sure, he has room to grow here, but these are guys that, like, if he's playing positive minutes, and then like let him grow here. I feel like the only argument is if he's getting caved in to send him down, because like the AHL is good development. They're good players down there. It's fast, and he can learn. But I don't know, man. When this team's missing a third line center, and he is that, and he's doing a fine job at it, I think like I would be very disappointed if they send him down at this point.
I mean, I don't disagree. I think he's great. I think he's been doing great. He cleaned up a nice garbage goal tonight. Fired it top Shelley. Loved that.
Yeah.
Loved it. and he now has 2 fewer points than Domi on the season and more goals than Max, Holmberg, Kampf, Dewar, and Reeves combined. So all those guys that, like we got Kampf out, we got Reeves. I mean, I don't know, has he come back? We talked about that. We're going to resuspend him. Max is still out. But if he's on this pace and he's playing like this, you don't want to send him down, but I just don't know if, I think you keep him up until trade deadline, and I still think they get a third line center, and I don't know if he plays in the playoffs. He may or may not, but he's not the third line center here. He may end up playing as a winger in the playoffs or something, but I don't think he's going to be the third line center when we enter playoff time. He is playing great, and I love the kid. He's defensively responsible. That's the number one thing about Fraser Minton that was been boasted about, is that he can be your defensive third line center, but he is only 21. And if you're chasing a Stanley Cup, you do have to have kids contribute, but we do have kids contributing. How many and when and where, and do you want to put that much pressure on a 21-year-old kid to be the third line center of the Toronto Maple Leafs chasing the Stanley Cup, or would you rather have him as either a fourth liner or a 13th forward along that cup run and give him the experience and, maybe give him an extra few games in the AHL towards the end of the season, because he doesn't need waivers. So you pick up the third line center and he plays with you guys. He plays with the team for the rest of the year. And then Fraser Minton goes back down. He dominates. He scores a bunch of goals down in the AHL. Well, this is best case scenario. And then he comes back for the playoff run, whatever have you. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But I think that's probably the path that's going to end up being for Fraser Minton.
That's exactly the perfect scenario for me, is that you give him to the trade deadline. Ideally he plays pretty well and maybe proves that he is the future that everyone seems to lay on him. But yeah, you go out and you still go and get someone, because, he's not someone you want to rely on in game 7, even in round 1. It's just brutal in the playoffs, right? So I totally agree. Send him down. You can have him as a backup plan when it comes to it. But
he can do it.
Yeah, I just don't see the reason to send him down now. I just give him 2 or 3 months, however long it is till the deadline. And that's all. It's just so much you'll learn. At this rate,
there's always going to be a forward job available on this team. If this pace keeps up, there's always going to be a spot for him. He's not going to have a choice but to play.
And if Domi comes back, would you rather Domi play third line center than Fraser Minton?
No, I think he's ahead of Robertson right now. I think he's ahead of
but just positionally wise
right now. I think he's ahead of Holmberg right now. Even I think as far as who's going to get sent first and value and
maybe not Holmberg,
not Holmberg.
Yeah,
okay,
but
fair enough.
Okay. But
went a little farther.
Yeah, I just think that positionally wise, I think he's doing a better job than anyone that's going to come out of injury or even anyone that's on the team right now. Maybe Kampf can fill it in a different way. But I just think that Kampf is just going to be on the fourth line. That's where he belongs. Yeah. And so who is it that we're going to come out of injury that makes you want to send him down? I think I know.
And you've, I said, you've got Dewar and you've got Robertson and you've got
Alex Nylander.
Nylander,
who looks exactly like his brother on the ice, but just without any of the finish. The skating looks similar. He grabs the puck and he makes 1 or 2 moves, and it looks very similar. But then he goes to make a pass, and he literally has to look at his stick to focus on doing it. It's just a totally different game. But obviously he's going to get sent down, I think, before Fraser Minton for sure. Robertson.
So how many guys do we got coming back?
Domi is definitely one. Reeves, he doesn't count.
No, he doesn't even count.
Yarncroke has had a setback, so he's out for a while. And then you got Bobby McMahon, who
Kampf.
Oh yeah,
so
Kampf. Yeah, so there's 3.
Dewar,
Dewar's in
we
one.
Got. No, I'm talking.
Sorry,
you're Dewar taking to flip out, and we got Robertson to flip out before him.
Alex
Nylander to flip out before him.
You said Dewar first, but I would have said the next 2 first, and Dewar would have been the third one to go.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, these are guys that Fraser Minton is ahead of before.
Oh yeah,
you even have to take him out. So you can bring those 3 guys back, and then Fraser Minton's still in the lineup, and it's like who's at Patches? I don't know if his Patches coming back.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard much
another
about that
dependent
one.
thing.
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
But then,
heard
then you're having a conversation between Gurbankin and Fraser Minton, and then I still think positionally wise,
Gurbankin.
I'd rather have Minton in the third C
100%.
position. Yeah. So I just think that I don't
You got
see
so many guys in the lineup that you could take out before Fraser Minton. Like this guy's gonna
Yeah.
stick around until trade deadline time. It has to happen. The writing's on the wall.
for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, we did enough on Fraser Minton. Do you have anything else you want to go over on this game?
I mean, we had a lot of ex-Leafs in the game. Justin Miller's bringing one up Bertuzzi tonight. Looked like we dodged a bullet by leaving him. And
Oh yeah.
there's a lot about Bertuzzi that I love. He brings it. He's willing to block a puck. He throws the odd
play defense,
wild
then.
hit. Yeah, but man, that dude just is kind of a scrambly mess. It is kind of like a perfect description of him, in my opinion. Just
Absolutely.
very glad they didn't sink a lot of money into him.
Slow.
Yeah, the thing about the debate between Domi and Bertuzzi, it just was so obvious. And who else were you going to keep other than Domi than Bertuzzi? And I just think that it was just so clear that it was, even though Domi has had a really rough start to the season, from based on expectation, I still think that he's more of a character that you want to have in the lineup than Bertuzzi is, for sure. But you also had Mikheyev, you had Foligno. Who's the other one? I'm missing one. Oh, Brody.
We have
Brody.
And we
was
also had Mrazek.
Oh yeah, I didn't even remember he was a freaking Leaf. Yeah, that was a disaster.
I mean, Foligno was a Leaf for shorter time, but I guess he went out in
Yeah.
a big dramatic fashion, so that's
He
why
did,
you
yeah.
remember. But we had Mrazek for the whole season, right?
And I was happier about having Foligno on the team than Mrazek. I'm probably blocking Mrazek out of my memory because wasn't fun
She
and
gets
I didn't
suppressed.
want it. Yeah. So
yeah, that was not a good time.
Yeah. Mikheyev is
It's amazing
probably
how far we've come.
Yeah. Mikheyev's probably the one of those four that I wish, or five now, I wish was still on the team. He's really fast and he has
I think
really
he
great
wishes
edges.
that too.
Yeah, he plays really well behind the net. He's just not given the opportunity to on Chicago. And so, yeah, I just think that he's kind of a guy that gets lost a bit because he's a support player, right? You put him around other guys to make him succeed, he's not going to provide much on his own. And
$5 million support player or something like that.
Is that what he makes? Oh my God, no wonder he doesn't play on the
$4.5
team.
million.
That's crazy.
$4.6 million. $4.8
No,
million. I don't know.
if that guy played
stupid.
made $2.5 million, I think that's probably what he's worth. And that's where the salary cap sucks because that's a guy I want on the team, but not for $5 million. Not a chance. That's crazy.
No, and that's the thing. That's the thing about this game and this business is that everybody wants to get paid, and they decided that each team only gets so much. So we all have to fucking count pennies to decide how to build our team. But I mean, it's kind of become half the fun, hasn't it?
Not really. I don't really love it. Yeah,
It does add to the drama, I will say.
it does add to the drama, but it's more just frustration. But
Yeah.
nothing's better than the
All right.
MLB, where if your team can go for it, they just go for it. So they got to pay a lot of money for it. But
Yeah, but how did that work out for the Jays last year, pal?
well, I mean, they're not paying the
Last couple
money
years.
that some teams are.
Yeah,
so.
they're the top four pay. They're the fourth highest payroll in the league.
No. Well, they also cut a ton
Yeah.
of salary. No, they're not.
I mean, now, now, but not last year, the year before. Man, look that stat.
They're not
up,
even
100%.
close to
They're
teams that
top
I'm
four.
actually talking about. New York, the Mets, Dodgers.
Oh yeah! Oh
even,
my God, the Dodgers are
Padres and,
three times.
the Red
They
Sox.
spend three times. Yeah, what they've
Yeah.
been. But yeah, no, they're right around. And I think the Mets were ridiculous too. But everybody else was right around. Blue Jays were right in there.
And that's
They
just
were
the
fourth.
argument too. Definitely the Blue Jays are in the top third, definitely. But
And how did that work out? Is my point. So really,
But
it doesn't
that's
matter.
my
I
point.
mean, the Leafs did have the money, and I guess they
that's
wouldn't have all
exactly
the
my
money they
point,
do
though.
now,
Is
but-
that the salary cap doesn't work for suppressing winners. It might make it so that I don't even know. It's more of a business decision, just because the owners have more stability. But Like it's proven that spending a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win, but it definitely makes it a lot more fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask the Yankees about that.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, enough baseball talk. Let's wrap this bitch up and we're going to get out of here. Thanks for joining us for Split the Defense Leafs post game presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding area since 2004. Leave us a comment, hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube, and listen to us in podcast form anywhere you listen to podcasts. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_show.